ring followers on and I'm just about to start machining the inner edge, but because I can't get in with the bandsaw, I've got quite a lot of material to remove. Normally if you're using a ring fence or a ring follower like this, you'd only be removing 2 to 3 mil at the most, just really finalising the final shape. So instead of doing a flush bit, I'm actually going to put an oversized follower on it. That way, instead of plunging down, this is 1 inch, so instead of plunging down and trying to remove an inch thickness of timber, I'm only going to be removing half of this, just to make it a little bit more easy. So this is the flush one. This overhangs by about 10 to 15 mil from my cutter block, which is going to allow me to just take off around half this thickness that I need. And then I'm going to run a final pass with a flush bit on to get my final shape. Something that you also need to consider is a spindle molder is different to using a router. If I was using a router to do this, I could actually freehand in until I meet my template. But doing this with a spindle molder, there's a good chance that when I start feeding it in, it's going to catch and throw and damage the workpiece. So with a spindle molder, you've always got to be working with a fence, something to push the timber up against, whether that's a standard straight fence, a ring fence, or in my case, a following bearing ring. So what I've done is I've stuck a superficial piece of timber on. This is just a bit of MDF and offcut. There's no timber behind this, it's completely hollow. So this is going to allow me to put my template onto the follower long before I hit my timber, and I'm going to work down and gradually transition into the template itself and start machining. Another thing with a coir, it does splinter quite easily, especially where you've got your joints. So to reduce the risk of that, I've just put some 2-pack filler in wherever my joints are. This is all going to be completely removed and we're going to be about down to bare timber, but this hopefully should prevent any tear out, mainly when my cutter blade comes up to the next bit of timber where I'm reaching a little bit of end grain. So this is just a little bit of a step to try and reduce any tear out, and I've got it on every single joint. That's our inner circle now made. Final dimensions, following the template. What I need to do, as you can see on this door, the corner of this, where it meets the stile, I need to trim this off. I'm not going to try and freehand this because it's a lot more work than what it needs to be. So because I have the large wall saw over there, I'm going to cut another template which is the same size as this circle. That way I can put my workpiece on the wall saw and trim both edges off perfectly parallel with each other. So that's the next step to do.